Good afternoon and welcome to Live Up to Freedom. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope wherever you are staying safe and staying sane and staying well educated, because right now the disinformation and misinformation, it's wow. I have a lot to cover again, but let me start. We're going to do a lot of please support this and don't support that. But let me start with one of the, I would say, probably most important things that is going to take place. Literally, I think they're setting up right now in Chicago. They're setting up. So there is an event going on. They have titled "Taking It to the Streets: The Power of Iranian Women Now." The main speaker, supposedly on behalf of Iranian women, is Negar Mortazavi, who's going to be our voice and all that good stuff. Unfortunately, there was attempt to try to stop the event altogether, but that didn't happen. But that's all right. However, there are other things that we can do. So before I tell you what are the things we can do, let me tell you what the problem is and why are we trying to silence someone who's trying to be the voice of Iranian women. Negar is part of NIAC, or NIAC is how we say it. I hope you're familiar with NIAC. If you're not, NIAC is National Iranian American Council. Kind of like CARE, the Council for American Islamic. NIAC is the National Iranian American Council. All Iranians in their right mind who are freedom lovers and freedom fighters, we are against NIAC. NIAC is located in America, just in case if that needed to be mentioned. You can find them easily by just putting up either National Iranian American Council or NIAC, NIAC. It's a C at the end. You would look at them and they would look like some, Iranian organization trying to be an Iranian organization. The truth of it is NIAC is another organization that's lobbying for the Islamic Republic of Iran in America. Now, considering what's happening in Iran with the revolution, unfortunately, there are organizations that are trying to use this situation for their own agenda, and NIAC is most definitely one of them. So is MEK. Now, I will dedicate another show to MEK because that one is on its own is terrifying. But NIAC is gaining way more momentum, so I figured I need to talk about this. Now, Negar, if you go to her Twitter, Instagram, wherever she is, knowing the knowledge you have as of right now, listening to my show or Brandon's show, you easily spot that she is a lobbyist for Islamic Republic of Iran. You just Google her, she has pictures wearing the hijab, standing next to people like Zarif. I don't know if you remember who Zarif was, but he was the head of negotiation back in 2015 with Obama regarding the Iran deal. He's the former foreign minister to Islamic Republic of Iran. They are buddies. I actually once made a joke of she should have deleted or never posted those selfies with that giant smile and happiness on her face next to Zarif. Anyhow, now she is definitely, and the interesting part is she has not necessarily even stood by Iranian women, but she is standing by Iranian women, with Iranian women. I hope that makes sense. Now, somehow she has gained access to be a speaker at different events. Chicago doesn't surprise me, but she's going to be the voice for Iranian women. We can't have that happening because she's going to promote lies. She's going to promote what Biden regime is promoting, which is let's change policy, not the regime. That's her narrative. Her narrative is, number one, we need change of policy, not the regime. The second thing is that she's promoting for other countries not to step in or do any meddling. That right there should tell you what's going on with her idea of being a voice. You'll see a lot of, we condemn this and we condemn that, but in action, they are definitely making sure to do whatever it takes to keep the regime in place. Now, on that note, there is another petition. There's a petition up And I'll put it on the screen so you can see it. It's change.org, so you can find it on change.org. Just look up Not Our Voice, Negar Mortazavi. Her picture's there, so it would be hard to find the wrong one. Now, again, this goes back to, yes, she's not our voice. On this specific petition, it is about the fact that she's not the voice of Iranians, but I want you to know that she is an American citizen. She's an Iranian-American journalist and political analyst. That's what she is. So technically, for me, for example, she's not my voice in neither American side nor Iranian side. So if you feel like it, go ahead and sign that petition as well. I know many of you signed the petition from yesterday. Sign this one, because one of the things that many things could go wrong with Negar Mortazavi gaining momentum or any access. You already got the idea, because I told you who she is and what organization she has ties to. We don't need any more Islamic lobbyists, Islamic Republic of Iran's lobbyists. We don't need anyone who loves the mullahs and wants to bring them here to America. For example, when Raisi was coming up, you didn't hear a peep from Negar Mortazavi. She had no problem with that. On that note, if she starts becoming, more and more known, and then before you know it, she's one of the reporters. And also, I realized it might be a little harder for those of you who are not familiar with who's to be trusted, who's not to be trusted. It could end up being, a little disastrous, to where you might start sharing her posts and tweets and stuff, giving her more support, even though she should not have it. As I said, she's a lobbyist, so it could sometimes be hard to tell who's on our side, who's not. So put Negar Mortazavi on the list of no. Negar Mortazavi has no interest in freedom in America, in Iran. She's not American loving, as she would like to pretend she is. And again, you can find all of this easily by just looking her up, tracking her record, any of that. You'll know it. Right now, especially with everything trending with her, which funny, she tweeted something of, oh, all of the good Iranian women outside of Iran, journalists, are being attacked and their names are trending. Today's my name to be smeared. No. Masih Alinejad is out there and her name is trending as one of the leaders of this movement. Nobody's smearing Messi. Why is that? Because she's actually doing the right thing. So she plays the victim card just like the rest of them do. Anyhow, be aware. If you like, sign the petition that Not Our Voice, Negar Mortazavi. I'm going to put the petition on the screen one more time, just in case if you need to grab the spelling or any of that. But as I said, if you go to change.org, just put on Not Our Voice. This one will come up, especially because the petition is fairly trending on change.org today, which is fantastic news. So if you want to share it, sign it, after you sign it, you share it, any of that would be good and very helpful. Next, since I told you who not to trust, I was trying to get it on the screen, but it wouldn't, so I ended up screenshotting it. There is a Twitter account under Hamid Esmailian. I will leave this on the screen long enough for anyone who wants to grab his name. This man, to be trusted, absolutely. He's mainly active on Twitter, but he's other places too. He's involved with the petition I showed you yesterday. Hamid is in Canada himself. Hamid lost family members in the Ukrainian plane that was shot down by Islamic Republic of Iran about 1,000 days ago. He has been relentless to get the Islamic Republic of Iran's representatives and diplomats and all of them out of Western countries. He started with Canada and he is still working through every other country. In last 33 days of the uprising, Hamid has put so much into everything. So if you want to follow someone that is trusted as far as reporting and putting petitions out, doing call to actions, Hamid would be your source. I personally will vouch for him. You'll see some of the names that are following him are some of the other trusted names. So I hope by now you grabbed his name. Go find him on any platform you can. And again, I was asked, by the way, I understand most of us are tweeting or posting in Farsi. I try to keep my Facebook English only, but my Telegram, my Instagram, my Twitter, they're all mainly in Farsi. But you can simply click the translate button. It will it's not going to give you accurate translation. It's going to be broken English, but you get the gist of it enough to know what's going on. It may not be the best source to like write an article about, but it will give you the gist of what you're looking at, what's happening. So since I told you to do not trust Negar, I wanted to make sure to give you a source that you can trust, a source that's taking real steps and taking real action towards what's going on. And Ismail didn't show up yesterday like Negar to suddenly love on Iran. No, he's been at it for a long time. He has traveled so much and so many places to make sure we can get rid of these representatives and diplomats once and for all. Which, on that note, there is a good news. I don't know if you follow this kind of stuff or not. I do, because I'm a huge fan of book festivals and book fairs. I'm a fan of books. I like reading whenever I get a chance. So the 74th annual book festival was taking place in Frankfurt, Germany. And I was so happy to hear this morning that the Frankfurt officials decided, without a notice, they're going to move the Islamic Republic of Iran's booth from the main hall into one of the sub halls back in middle of nowhere with very limited public access. Also, the German embassy in Iran, with coordination with the officials in Frankfurt, decides to delay the visas of the Iranian officials to go to this book festival, which ended up, thankfully, basically kicking the Islamic Republic of Iran officials out of the festival. Now, of course, since their ego is bruised, Islamic Republic of Iran officials came out and said, we decided to not go because their attitude was unprofessional. But basically, thanks to Frankfurt officials and German embassy members in Iran, Islamic Republic of Iran, for first time in 43 years, will not have any access to the Frankfurt annual book festival. Now, someone might say, oh, it's just a book festival. It's not. It's one less access. Well, technically, I should say the second access, because Islamic Republic of Iran also lost their seat at the international communication, what do we call it? Communication committee. There we go. They also lost that seat due to shutting down internet on people and cutting their phone off and all that. They actually lost their seat there. So it's like drop by drop by drop until you have the ocean, right? So it's working. Now, I hate to say the fact that our country, America, hasn't done any cutting yet. And as early as yesterday, the head of negotiation, Molly, has still said that we strongly believe that diplomacy is the only way to stop Iran from achieving a nuclear weapon. So they're still in midst of hoping, even though Iran is not even interested at this point for this deal, considering what's going on. But America, or American regime right now, is still working with them. But a lot of European countries are starting to push back. And aside the fact that these are all fantastic news for people of Iran and also for us, it's good to know we still have a couple of officials in European countries with backbone to stand up to tyranny. It's very good news, especially with pressure put on them. And you see, this is the beauty of petitions and rallies and pressure. it gets too where someone somewhere will feel the pressure and they will do something about it. And as I said, these might seem like small steps, but they are dramatically huge for us, especially Iranian people inside Iran. I'm pretty sure the regime in Iran is going to be so pissed they're going to try to take it out on people. But it's a revolution. No revolution has been fought and won without innocent bloodshed and sacrifices. So with that understanding, people of Iran know that the more pressure we put on, especially Western governments, to push back against the regime, the more crackdown and pressure will be put on the people of Iran, especially those on the streets. But these are somewhat after a long time, I guess. I was glad to know that I can come on and give you some good news regarding other countries' involvement. They're pretty pissed, but I caught myself giggling when I was reading the report from Frankfurt. I'm like, it was good to read that information. Don't get me wrong, there's still many tragic news. There are still many sad news. I don't know if you caught me on Brandon's show last night, but I did announce that unfortunately the lovely and brave Iranian climber who removed her hijab before competing is in trouble. I think a lot of us miscalculated the worst. Thought it would be she won't make it home for a while. But it seems like not only she will make it home, but she will be transferred from airport directly to Evin Prison. And by now you're all familiar what that sentence means when someone goes to Evin Prison. It's a dark path. But of course, there's always hope. So hopefully, somehow, somewhere, someone, or many ones, if we can get enough Iranian people to the airport, there's a good chance there will be crackdown again, of course. But they might be able to get her out of there without her being transferred to Evin Prison. But so pray for her safety, pray for guidance for her so she knows what to do and how to do it. But this doesn't take away from courage that she showed to do what she did. Okay, let me go ahead and talk about, excuse me, talk about one more person that I would love to ask you to show support. I am into art. I try not to call myself an artist, but I love art. In most forms, I feel like it's definitely a very good food for our soul and spirit. So I do like art. Also, art has been one of the most effective ways in history of human society to spread a message or make a point, or at times help a revolution either win or lose. So I guess it's a cultural thing. I don't know what it is, but a lot of artists, Iranian artists, have been extremely and heavily involved. You're familiar with Shervin. I played his song that got him arrested. Many other Iranian singers are releasing songs, and it was interesting. Someone once commented that revolutions aren't won by songs, they are won by fight and blood. I'm like, darling, we are sacrificing enough blood. However, a lot of it is being healed or inspired by many of these songs. Anyhow, that was a side note. But on that note, a lot of art is involved spreading the message. And one of the artists that has been so wonderfully effective, at least for me, could be that I'm just biased. His name is Mustafa. I'm gonna put this is his Instagram account. So if and that's the beauty of it, that you don't have to speak his language or not, because all of he's just a visual artist, right? So you just look at the picture and you get what you're looking at, and you can grab his work and spread it around and share it everywhere without even saying anything. As I said, I'm going to show you as I talk. I'm going to show you some of his most recent art or visual art. that look at that. No, nobody needs a writing. I mean, if at this point somebody doesn't know who that man is, being Khamenei, then they don't even need to get involved with the fight. But he basically does picture editing to get a message out. And as I said, I have absolutely come to realize that some of his work is so extremely effective, much more effective than, I don't know, some of the arguments, even some of the videos and interviews and debates. He is talented. I actually wrote him a very long letter, and I apologized. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm probably taking too much of your day, but I couldn't help but to let him know that it's so wonderful and so beautiful when one actually does take his talents and God-given gift to bring such powerful awareness to inhuman acts of many. So I figured one of the things I need to do is to bring more of the information of those who deserve and need our support. And as I said, there is no language barrier here. Our pictures, you look at it and you know what we're talking about. So if you are on Instagram, go find Mustafa Harabi. And even if you're not on Instagram, you can see all of his pictures are public. So you can still get the picture and just put it out there. I did it. Well, of course, we don't have too much time, so I just grabbed what I could, or I think I grabbed those that touched me the most to show you. So they're powerful work. Again, I want to just thank him for doing what he does. All the artists, even non-Iranian artists who are out there doing especially visual artwork to spread the message and be the voice of all women under Sharia. Like his child bride images are very powerful. As I said, you don't even need to explain. You don't need to even have a write-up for it or a hashtag for it or a debate over it. It's just, I'm gonna stop because I can talk about Mustafa for a very long time. Let's also pray for him. He's outside of Iran, so he's somewhat safer than those inside Iran. But when you make this much wave and you're so brave to put those images out, you still could be in danger. So let's pray for his safety, and also let's pray that God continues guiding him as he spread the message and it's trying to be a voice for millions and millions of little girls and women under Sharia. Let me quickly get to the next topic. I don't know. I generally don't know if any of you have heard, but the latest teenage victim of Islamic Republic of Iran is Asra Panahi, 16 years old. Excuse me. Asra was killed by the Islamic police at her own school. At a school. When I got the news about Asra, I kept thinking, you know how in America we are constantly worried. Many people are tirelessly fighting for our kids at a school. We are worried about their safety. And I don't mean necessarily physical safety, which we do because there are, the number of school shootings are going up physically, emotionally, mentally. We're so worried about our kids at a school. Sherry always says on the comment, take your kids out of those schools. And I agree with her. Take your kids out of those schools. But when this happened, I couldn't help but to think, maybe I'm not too paranoid or crazy. Maybe we are going through a parallel time in both countries in maybe different ways. They aren't barging into schools and beating our kids to death yet, but they're using different tools such as drag queen time and school shootings and brainwashing and teaching them communism and teaching them to hate America. These are the ways they damage or kill the soul of our children and the future of our country. Anyhow, that was just a thought that came to mind when I was reading Asra's case. Asra was 16 at a school. And what happened was, because of what's going on, and a lot of schools and universities are involved with the revolution, the dean of the school decided that in the morning she's going to ask the students to sing, do you remember Hello Commander song? She asked them to sing that. And a big group of the students started chanting and singing Shervin song, the one that he grabbed from tweets of Iranians of their reason for this revolution. Instead of singing Hello Commander, they sang Baraye, which is Shervin's song. The dean of the school contacts the morality police, opens the door and let them in. They start cracking down. Did I mention this is a high school? Did I mention Asra was only 16? In the midst of that, many were arrested. Many were beat up. Unfortunately, Asra was beat to death. She died of internal bleeding. And I saw a post with Asra's story and the comments of she was courageous. Yes, she was. She was brave. And her teenage stubbornness carried her over. I felt like, first of all, we need to talk about Asra, just like we talked about Nika and Hadith and Massa. We will talk about Asra as well. I just wish this list would end. But I'm too much of a realistic person to know this is going to end tonight. However, I wanted to just mention a little inside story that has not been really spread out. Asra wasn't stubborn. Maybe she was, but she didn't end up being killed in hands of Islamic police because she was stubborn. Now, a month before she was killed, Asra's father was executed by the Islamic regime. It wasn't that she was stubborn. It was that she lost her father to this regime. She wasn't to stand there and say, hello, commander, and praise neither Khamenei or Qasem Soleimani nor Mahdi. They took away her father. So it was her way of honoring her father. I just thought we all need to know that Asra at age 16 was aware of the truth. She didn't buy into daddy was just this propagandist who wanted to overthrow the regime. No. She knew her father was fighting for her freedom, so she decided to continue the fight on her own. And unfortunately, she ended up losing her life like her father to this fight. Let's make sure to pray for Asra's family. Her mother, I can't even try to pretend like I can imagine. To lose your husband and then your daughter in a matter of a month. Let's pray for a strength for her. And also for everyone who has lost anyone, especially their young children. I always ask for prayers. They need lots of prayers. It's been 33 days. They are tired. They are more like exhausted. They are on their own still. Gradually looks like help might be coming, not from America, but European countries. But let's pray for strength for them. And again, guidance, 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 because as this revolution keeps picking up, the more guidance Iranian people are going to need to know what to do, how to do, whom to place in power. It's going to be a huge dramatic change, and they're going to need lots and lots of guidance from God. So please, I know you all pray. I know my audience are prayers. So please pray for them. But on top of your list, I want you to put Asra's mother, and I want you to put our Iranian brave climber. If you could have these two on top of your prayer list, I would be so very grateful. I am out of time. I gotta run. As you know, guys, I don't really get the chance to run much ads. Well, technically no ads, but I still do need your support. So if you decide to purchase anything, especially with Christmas coming up, mystore.com, mypillow.com, use promo code AC21, and lutfstudio.com. lutfstudio.com is where you can purchase my art, as I put some more inventory in there. Please just stay safe, stay vigilant, keep on praying, keep on praying, keep on praying. Lots of prayers are needed right now. And until tomorrow, may God bless you and God bless America. Goodbye, guys.